This episode of Life in Motion is brought to you by Comfort Linen, helping you move more freely in bed without feeling like you're wrestling your bedding at 3 a.m. Use promo code DLT20 to save 20% off your order now at comfortlinen.com. And now, the only two people who can turn Parkinson's into both insight and entertainment, Bryce and Brian.
All right. Well, hey, everyone. Welcome back to Life in Motion, the Parkinson podcast. If you're new here, I'm Bryce.
Hey, and I'm Brian.
And before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel or follow the podcast wherever you listen. But today's episode is the start of something that we're really excited about, and you're not going to want to miss where this goes today.
Yeah, and also, if Parkinson's is going to mess with anything, it usually starts at night. So here we go.
Oh my God, right? Sleep, right? Or what pretends to be sleep, while laughing at you quietly in the dark.
Yeah, you got your tossing, your turning, trying to change positions, and then there's the friction fiction, and getting stuck halfway through, you roll up like a turtle, or for me, I start fighting the sheets like an alligator, and I never win.
Never win. And then somehow you wake up already exhausted, which feels totally unfair, because technically you just spent 8 hours horizontal.
Yeah, we joke about it, but nights, they can be brutal. That 3 a.m. club is not fun.
No, it's not, which is exactly why we brought in someone special today. Not a sponsor, not an ad, but a guest and a friend, an absolute friend who lives and breathes this stuff. Now, her name is Nancy McGovern, right? And she was a physiotherapist that, I believe, anyway, we're going to get into it, but she's in retirement. She founded a company called Comfort Linen. And her special interest, though, is in how people move in bed or are moved by others. It has been her focus of her work for over 30 years. And when moving in bed becomes a struggle, Nancy loves helping people understand what's getting in the way of comfort, independence, and quality of sleep, and what can actually help. So, Nancy, we are so glad. Thank you so much for coming in today and being with us.
Well, it's my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure, Bryce and Brian. Thank you so much for inviting me, and to have watched that video that you put together. I just admire everything that you do. You guys just, really hit on the points that I think your audience follows so well. And that's why you have so many followers, is you really bring up some really pertinent topics. And it's all about sharing ideas and things that work. So thank you very much for having me.
Perfect.
Well,
it's great to have you.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be clear, we're not calling you the sleep police by any means, or getting into pajama drama.
No, but she could be the person that finally shuts down the 3 a.m. club.
The 3 a.m. club is where you wake up tired, uncomfortable, and questioning all of your life choices. So I'm up for that.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny, Brian, with, Nancy is, and when I said a friend, one thing I love, and Nancy, I love you. I just love talking with you, and, not just that you're such a sweet person, but you can't help. We were just talking about how's the weather, and, somehow you're so passionate about what you do and passionate about the things you talk about. To me, it's such a, I just love to share that because I love that passion that comes out of you. It's just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. And before we get into the mechanics of all of this, right? Can you tell us a little bit about your story, and why this matters to you personally, not just professionally, but why it matters to you personally as well?
Well, it's a bit of a long story. It's been quite a journey that I've been on, but I can't leave out the fact that, yes, for my career, I worked as a physiotherapist. And the first half of my career, was gaining experience working with my patients. Therapists are all about movement, restoring movement, relieving pain so that people can live with as much independence and dignity as possible. So, that first 25, 30 years of working with patients really gave me the experience to tackle the problem that presented back in the 90s when there was a change. There's a changeover. I was working in residential care. This was after my acute care days and my outpatient days. And in this residential care site, our whole health authority had changed to the fitted sheets. Some of you might remember the old style flat sheets, hospital corners. And when these fitted sheets were introduced, our nurses thought they were great. They didn't come undone. They stayed on in place. But what it did was it generated more injuries with our nurses because things kind of stuck to these knitted sheets. And so in the mid 90s, I was appointed to be the person to help solve this issue.
Wow.
And it wasn't an easy issue to solve. There were tools, there were techniques, but our staff would say to me very honestly, I really worked hard to develop a good relationship with our staff. And they said, Nancy, we're not going to use these. It just takes too much time. We just want something that stays on the bed and it's there for every time we have to move someone. So it started off as a safety project. But as the years went by and we got, something that became very effective, and then we put it out to tests and some research. And not only did this product, when it was introduced to our acute and residential care hospitals, not only did it reduce our injuries to our nurses, which, from a prevention point of view, that's the ideal thing.
Absolutely.
But some of the patients who were on these sheets, when I'd go around to check and see, what they felt about them, they said, well, we love these sheets. I want them for my bed at home because when I'm on them, I can move myself. So can I get them for my queen bed or my king bed at home? So I checked with the manufacturer and they went, no, we just want to do hospital beds. That's it. But someday, Nancy, we know your ideas work. So, if you want to do it, we'll help you. And so I always had this idea for about the last 6 or 7 years before I actually retired from what I referred to as my real job, my professional job.
I had one of those too, Nancy.
Yeah. And then what comes after can be pretty good too. But
exactly.
it's sort of a journey that takes you on all these different paths. But so I had this idea of, well, rather than the draw sheet for the nurses to slide the patient on the fitted base sheet that was also a slippery section, I thought, well, let's just build it into what people wear to bed, the second part. So that would become the mobility device, so to speak. What you wear to bed would help you move on the fitted sheet. And of course, I wanted to make them beautiful so that people were motivated to try it. And also because it makes you feel good when you've got something on that, is attractive and a sheet that looks like it belongs in a home instead of in an institution and that sort of thing.
That's
and
nice.
So I created this pajama and sheet system that translates into mobility enhancing sleepwear and bed sheets. So, that's the professional side. The personal side of me, while I don't have Parkinson's myself, I don't have anyone in my family with Parkinson's, doesn't mean to say that we haven't had some significant health issues, even including myself. When I was a little girl, I had polio. And so for a year, I was pretty out of it, couldn't stand, couldn't walk, that sort of thing, and had to rebuild the strength. And I guess that's what eventually led me to become a physiotherapist. So what does it mean to me? I'm in a caring profession. And when I retired, I didn't stop caring. Our team used to have this saying of, when you know better about something, then you need to do better. And so that was sort of a mantra through some of the changes that we had to implement. And so when I thought, I know what could make life so much easier for the many people that my insights told me, and the aging population, and the need to have strategies for people to stay and live at home independently. So after I retired, I thought, okay, well, my dad, when he was ill back around 2000, they were very early iterations of the product that I have now, but he loved it. He could move. It wasn't so much pain for him. And one night when I said, well, Dad, I should really take this out because it's not really meant for you to use overnight. He says, no. I'll be really careful. You just leave it where it is.
Yeah.
So
Don't take it away.
Don't take it away.
Don't take
So
it
that
away.
always stayed with me. And I knew that our home support people, they have their stresses and their physical limitations. And I really felt that, for the aging population, my parents, went through many things as they aged, and
Mm-hmm.
my product helped them.
Nice.
As you can see, we're all aging. Aging is a
Yes, we
good
are.
thing. If the
Exactly.
Exactly.
alternative's not so
Exactly.
great.
Yep.
But I'm in that baby boom, aging population, and I just know that what it means to me, for those who really have difficulty moving, the consequences of being immobile in bed, the really dire consequence, you really want to avoid that. And this to me is just such a simple solution. Just changing out what you wear, changing out the kind of sheet that you have on the bed, and voila, you've got some instant comfort and much easier ability to move. And I think it has a really big impact on the
Oh,
quality of sleep. But we'll get into that later. I better
no,
stop talking so that
no, that's
we can get
beautiful.
on to the
It's
next part.
it's
But
beautiful, and then just to kind of hit that one home a little bit on for me. We had met, and you gave me we were traveling. I think actually, we met you the next day after we went through the tornado, and I think our truck was all ripped apart, and it was
yes.
that's right. And but anyway, you gave us some pajamas and a travel sheet, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And Brian, I'll tell you, talk about when Nancy says about moving in the bed. Just me. I literally we put the travel sheet on, and I didn't even have the pajama, just a travel sheet. And in the morning, and because we were there for Carmen was working, so she was gone, so she worked and she was left. Dude, talk about movement. I felt like a little kid. I was like, I put my
Uh,
hand on the back of the bed and I pushed myself and woo, and I went sliding. It was incredible to me. I'm saying that just as a fan, like as a customer, as somebody that just says like, wow, I
yes.
was
So
shocked.
you've got me excited now. Having not seen this, I'm curious though. Can I go from wrestling alligators to swimming with the dolphins? Is that going to be possible?
Well,
Please say yes.
everyone's different, Brian, but
All right.
from my experiences, you will notice a distinctive change. And I think back
Awesome.
to some of the people who write to me and say, now that I can move in bed, I find myself lying in bed at night and I just go from side to side, from
Oh,
side
nice.
to side. And I'm smiling the whole way through, and I'm doing it just because I know I can. And,
Well,
that's just so hugely rewarding
I
for
love
someone
So,
to be
so,
that.
able
so the
to
fact you
express
have a
that.
travel sheet is amazing because I was at friends this week. They're 2 hours from where we live, so we stayed overnight. And a strange bed, whatever. I haven't seen this travel sheet yet, but I actually have a divot in my elbow from rubbing the wrong way on
Mhm.
their bed, and that's just one night. So if there's access to
Holy
to
mackerel.
to to a sleepover sheet, I'll call it, that would be phenomenal.
Oh, I
Sleepover
like that
sheet.
name, the sleepover sheet.
That's cool. That's
You know,
cool.
what it has done, and people will write and tell me, and this is how I learn so much from my customers. It's given us the freedom to travel again,
Yeah.
because I'm always so worried about what's the
Right.
berth going to be like on the cruise ship, or this big hotel king bed. I'll need a
Mm.
ladder to get up on and into it, sort of thing. So
Oh,
yeah, the sleepover sheet. I love that name.
that is good. Well,
I'm
to
glad I
that
didn't
end,
offend you.
and Brian talked about like wrestling alligators, and people say all the time, I just toss, I turn all night, right? And when
Yeah.
someone says that, what's actually happening in their body, Nancy? Because I'm trying to figure this out. They're tossing and turning. What's actually going on?
Well, the term tossing and turning, let's call it an idiom. Just like, oh, it's a piece of cake, or someone's under the weather. Only people who understand the language read into that. So tossing and turning, it's really an idiom that's indicative of, oh, I had such a restless night. A
Mm,
restless night. All I had to do, I could only go from side to side, back and forth, back and forth. And, it points to a poor sleep. But in the sense of when someone who has a condition like Parkinson says, oh, I tossed and turned all night. Now, I read into that to say they were restless all night. They had a
Hmm.
really poor sleep. But could they actually literally toss to turn? So if we
right.
pick apart that term,
Good point.
tossing and turning, the literal sense of it, toss, to toss a ball, to
Hmm.
toss a salad. It's a light upward motion. So if you translate that to the body on the bed, why is it that we use that term, tossing to turn? We need to hoist our body to clear the bed.
Yeah.
And here's where I'll introduce friction.
Ah.
There's so much friction between, say, if you're lying on your back, the whole backside of your body is in contact with the surface of the bed. So when you're in bed, lying down, your body is in the greatest surface area contact with another object than at any other time of the day. So here we are sitting, it's just our hips and the back of our legs on the chair. But in the bed, it's your whole surface. And like Bryce, as you said earlier, we're horizontal. We are at a huge mechanical disadvantage of being flat, having friction between our body and the bed. So how do we turn over without having to lift and hoist? So tossing to turn, another way of saying it would be lift and hoist, or I kind of hitch my hips over or hitch my bum or grab something and pull, and then I have to get back again. So the tossing and turning, I'd really like to hear eventually from your audience about, well, we say tossing and turning, but are you actually tossing and turning, or are you just wanting to do that, but you're actually stuck to the bed? Which is what I hear from some customers is, it's like I'm Velcroed to the bed. I just can't move. So
that's a really good point. That blows. And you think about that, Brian. Think about what Nancy just said. I couldn't non-sleeping get on the bed and toss and turn. You know what I mean? Like I can't lay on, like if I'm right now, if there was a bed here and I'm wide awake and I lay flat on my back, I can't toss myself up in the air and turn around.
No.
I can't do it when I'm not asleep. So why do I say that? Like, oh man, I tossed and turned all night. You're right. That's a silly. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. No, it's a term that's just in our everyday language.
It is. You're right.
But I think when you have a condition like Parkinson's with the rigidity, the stiffness from being in one position for many hours at a time, the mechanical disadvantage that I speak to is, when you're on your back and when you go to turn to your side, the first motions you have to make is either you bend your legs up so that you can lift your hips, and then you have to lift your head and shoulders off of the bed, off the pillow and off the bed, get your elbow under you to kind of get your weight off. And you're doing all of this to clear friction, but your body has to work against gravity. So it's like a workout. And I'm sure some of you relate to that. It's like, oh gosh, it took me this long before I could get over on my side.
Absolutely.
And at that point, I'm like wide awake.
Of course.
Oh God. I like that. You know what? In the comments, is that you? Does this make sense? Is that you? Are you the way? Because I'm sorry, Nancy, I'm sitting there like, oh, because I love that kind of stuff, because it's sort of like we just say things without even thinking about it. We just, and that just blows my mind. And I love that analogy, and you're 100% accurate and 100% right in that. And so for me personally, we've got those like hospital beds, or like where they're kind of like back and forth, adjustable. And so what I ended up doing is I literally end up grabbing onto the side, because they're at different heights, and I can grab onto one and I pull myself, like to kind of pull myself over or pull myself in. That's the only way that I've been able to find to be. That's how I move, is by having to hold and pull.
Yeah. So Bryce, I have to get up twice in the night just to take medication. Forget the bladder control. And I say, position it like this. I try to get as close to the edge of the bed as I can. And it's like I'm doing an army obstacle course. When they go up that wooden wall, I'm going up the wooden wall, to putting my leg around outside the bed on the mattress so I can pull myself over and roll out. I don't fall out because that would make a big thud. But and it's like going over that wooden wall in the army obstacle course. It's crazy.
Well said.
Speaking of those things like the obstacle course, the workouts, I remember from gym class back in school days, you could do the four-legged crawl. You could do the bear
Yeah.
walk where your bum's up in the air, or you
Yep.
could do the crab walk.
Oh, yes,
So
I remember that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
liken the crab walk, which is, your face up, you've
Yes.
got your hands behind you,
Yeah.
your bum's off the floor,
Yep.
and you're having to walk with your hands and your feet. Well, it's terrible posturing for your shoulders. Anytime you have to put your arms behind you and you're taking weight, it's very
Oh,
hard on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So when you
yeah.
think about, well, how
Absolutely.
is it that we move, to the middle of the bed so that we're
Yeah.
not sleeping on the edge all night, or to get out of bed, you have to shimmy over? You're basically doing like a crab walk. And for someone with Parkinson's, that takes a whole lot of agility, coordination, the timing of
100%.
all of these things. And so it becomes just a really big chore. And Brian, you've described
Yeah.
your method of getting out. And I've heard from others, well, I find it's just safer for me to inch my way to the edge, and then
Yeah.
I lower myself to the floor with control. And then from there, I stand up. And I'm thinking, oh,
There's got to be a better way.
there's a better way. There
Yeah.
is a better way.
So your sheet would go in put that in play. To me, that's like the Teflon on the frying pan. Now
That's
now the
right.
egg will cook and you have control, right?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
oh,
right. That's right.
Right
Non-stick.
on.
That's what my husband
Non-stick,
used to say.
exactly.
It's like you're an egg in a Teflon pan, is what he'd
Yep.
say to some people.
that's so true. And well,
Yeah.
but I'm interested in this friction.
Hmm.
I mean, I know you're talking about friction, and you talk a lot about it, and most people think of friction like the villain at night, right? And can you like at 2 or 3 in the morning, it's that friction. So is there I guess what I'm trying to say is this the way that your product with the pajamas and the sheets, right? What's the difference? Like I don't know, like when it's friction, then what what difference, like, tell
What
us,
have I
I need
done
to know.
differently?
Yeah, what have you done? Thank you so much, Nancy. That's exactly what,
Some
that's what I was trying to say. But yes, can you sum this up? Like, what makes it different? What,
yeah.
what helps us with that? What is, like, I never, to be honest with you, I'd never even thought or heard of friction before we start talking.
Yeah, most people don't think about when they can't move that it has anything to do with friction.
Yeah.
And just to wrap up that part about the tossing and turning, you know, I'm at a social gathering or something. Somebody might say, well, what do you do, or how do you fill your time? And I'll tell them a little bit about it. So I'll say, well, tell me about tossing and turning. Do you know what tossing, what's the root cause of tossing and turning? And they'll go, well, restlessness, or you can't sleep. And, they'll come up with, oh, I'm uncomfortable. I say, yeah, those are all the reasons why we have to move. But what is the root cause? And when they don't come up with what I'm looking for, I'll say, well, it's actually friction and gravity. That's why we have to toss to clear the friction, but we have to toss against gravity. And that's a workout.
Oh,
So we can't really do anything about gravity, but we can manage friction. So when we
ah,
manage friction well, gravity becomes less of an issue, less of an obstacle. So for instance, when you're lying in bed tonight, try to change your position without lifting your head from the pillow. You just can't do it. So if you've got a neck problem or rigidity and it's hard to flex forward, you're going to struggle to get over onto your side.
absolutely.
So when you can manage friction, the way that I've done it with Comfort Linen, there's no need to lift your head anymore. You can just start the motion with your legs and your hips, and over you go. And it just becomes a whole lot easier. So back to your last question there, Bryce. What is it about friction, and why, people don't think about friction when they're feeling so stuck in bed at 3 in the morning? So let me relate it to wearing pajamas to bed. And I'll preface it by saying there's a lot of people who give up wearing pajamas. They prefer to sleep in their birthday suits, in the nude.
Oh
And there's
yeah,
good reason for that.
yeah,
They get rid of their pajamas because traditional pajamas on regular sheets create a high degree of friction. They hinder movement. It
hmm,
creates resistance. That's what friction really is. It's friction, the relative resistance between motion.
yeah,
And so when a garment contacts the bed sheet, when your body goes to move, your garment sticks to the sheet and you move within the garment.
Yes. Is that why
So
it's
the
always stuck?
garment,
Like I got to pull it out. I'm trying to pull this shirt around because it's always stuck.
exactly. The garment becomes
Ah,
relatively twisted on the body,
yeah.
or if you've been reading in bed and you slink down to go to bed, everything rides up. You get the
Yeah.
wedgie, your shirts. You're
Oh,
forever, straightening things out.
it's
So
awful.
no wonder people just ditch their pajamas, especially guys. Is what my.
Well, to that point, Nancy. So Brian, nude or dressed? How do you sleep?
I would typically wear a pair of shorts to bed, but no shirt.
Red. So what Brian wears is he wears these red
And then Adidas shorts.
Adidas shorts from 1982. That's his bed.
Oh.
His bedtime routine. Sorry. Go
Because I can
ahead.
still get in them.
Exactly. Okay, sorry. But yes, that makes sense. Nancy, sorry, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, so to follow through with where I'm going on that. So with traditional pajamas and sheets, there's less friction between the skin of your body and the inside of the garment, right? So you're
Mhm.
turning within your garments.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So
Ah.
with comfort linen, what the big change is that now where friction is least is between the outside of the garment and the bed sheet. That allows the sleepwear to basically move with your body like it's a second skin.
Ooh.
Okay. So the garment itself becomes like the mobility device, if you want to use a medical term. It becomes your pal to help you
Yeah.
move on the bed sheet. It's the partner. So if you chose, and there'll be some people who use our sheets without the sleepwear, and they find that it's enough for
That's
them. It
enough.
still
Yeah.
helps. But if you were to do sort of the testing or use the scientific term, the coefficient of friction, between two surfaces, skin and the comfort linen sheet will have a higher friction coefficient than our sleepwear on the sheet.
Uh,
So when people say, well, do I have to get both parts? I'll say, well, for the best results, optimal friction reduction, therefore the greatest ease of movement, yes, I spend a lot of time finding the ideal fabric to
wow.
go with the ideal weave of the sheet that we have to
Mhm.
get maximal friction reduction. So that's the systemic change. That's the system change. And, really, if you look back in history, the laws of friction were recognized, they were written about, they were studied by the father of friction, Leonardo da Vinci, back in the late 1400s.
Oh,
And since those centuries ago, look at the progress that has been made with equipment,
Mhm.
tools, footwear, tires. All of these things look at the interacting surfaces, the two surfaces. But nobody's ever really done that for the bed, which is where we spend a third of our lives.
Yeah, no
We
kidding.
have lived with friction, dealt with friction, never questioned it on the surface
huh.
of a bed. And yet, when there's immobility, you have people whose skin breaks down or they get friction burns like you experience on your
Yep,
friend's bed, Brian.
yep.
But immobility, the worst of what can happen are bed sores. And that's why in hospitals,
Mm.
nurses need to move patients who are unable to move themselves, usually every 4 hours or so. And that's a heavy toll for our nurses.
Wow, it
And
totally is.
This episode is sponsored by Comfort Linen. If you've ever felt stuck turning in bed or woken up feeling like you wrestled your sheets all night, you're not alone. Comfort Linen is designed to help you move more freely while staying secure. Use promo code DLT20 for 20% off your order. You'll find the link and code in the show notes. And now, back to Bryce and Brian.
yeah, so that's a little bit about,
Wow.
little bit about the product and what's different about it. And really, I mean, I'm fortunate to move really quite well. And I just it's just a nicer way to go to bed. Like I take it everywhere. I don't have a particular movement problem or pain, but it just feels
Yes.
terrible to go back the old way.
It's like watching. I started everything I watch on television or whatever. I have closed caption. I don't know. It just and I'm used to it now. So if I go somewhere,
Yep.
it's even though I don't might not need it, it's on. Right. And
Yes.
it just makes it an easier experience for me. And if I go somewhere and they don't have it, it's like, what the heck? I can't watch TV. Like it's just I'm just so set to it. But you said something really important, Nancy, and I think that it's if I think of my mindset in what we're talking about right now is if you think of it's like and I'll be straight out honest, the sheets are beautiful. I mean, oh my God, the packet, everything. It's like high end, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But really, it's not. When and forgive me for this because I thought, okay, Nancy, of the comfort linen, right? It's sheets and pillowcases or whatever sheets and pajama sets, but it's not about in what you just said. It's a wellness product,
Hmm.
right? It's not a
It's a
sheet. It's
wellness.
not a bedding. It's a wellness product, and that changes the game. That changes the game big time. I mean, it's crazy. And so the other thing I'm thinking about though is. Um, I know this may sound small, but like getting to that edge of that bed, right? And suddenly it's a really big deal. And one thing that I found interesting um, is what and forgive me on this, but I call it like a bumper, because
Hmm.
when I said I could push my and Brian, honestly, Brian, like I mean, I push myself. I just for fun. I'm like, Carmen, let's go back up to the top. It's like going down a slide. Put me back up at the top. I want to push myself again. But the best part about that, and when I first got on, I'm like, whoa, this could be dangerous. Like I might move so easy, I'll fall out of bed. But then all of a sudden I looked and I'm like, oh my God, it has like bumpers on the side. Like it's so this beautiful sheet, but then it has like this guardrail almost where, and what's really cool about that is that actually I'm sticking, like I'm kind of like I'm sliding to the edge and then I'm kind of, oh, it stops me. I'm sticking. And then that, which even makes it easier at that point now to move around. And so, um, I just love the concept. How did you
Okay.
well,
Okay. So what Bryce is speaking to here, for those of you who've never seen a comfort linen sheet, the bumper or the guardrail that he's talking about, it doesn't stick up, it doesn't have a profile to it. It's just part of the sheet. But for the 6 inches on either side of the slippery panel, I've used a higher friction sheeting material so that there's a little bit more grab for when you're sitting. It provides more stability in a sitting posture, as you get into bed. If you able to get in your sitting bones, where you take your weight, should reach to the satin panel, the slippery panel. But behind your thighs, you have the higher friction sheeting. So it gives you a little more stability. But when you go to shift and pivot into position, your hips should glide, especially if you've got the sleepwear with the bed sheet. So I wanted that because, well, it was part of the hospital sheet design as well. Of course, in hospitals, you have to take every precaution. You don't want
for
Hmm.
to
sure.
contribute to patient falls from bed.
No.
So we had done the same thing with our hospital product. So I just did the same with our home, with our consumer product, was build in some safety. And for those people who've read on other websites that, um, Parkinson's related websites where under their resources for difficulty moving in bed at night, go get yourself some satin sheets or some satin
Yes.
pajamas.
Yes, of course. I've heard that.
Yeah. So along with that, though, customers will say, well, I've tried satin pajama or satin sheets. They were terrible. The top sheet kept sliding off. I slid out of bed. It was just so dangerous, and it didn't really help me move side to side.
Uh,
So there's reasons for that. I mean, they were just not designed for mobility. You get good movement up and down the bed, but you
yeah,
don't
but
get it sideways. And that's what we
Right.
need for getting over, getting back to the edge,
Yep.
and turning. So, yeah, it's like in a king bed, you've got so much range to get over,
mhm.
and it's otherwise a whole lot of work. But I'm
Wow.
thinking of a lady named Frida. She was my sister-in-law's mother, and she'd had a terrible fall from a treadmill. And she smashed her shoulder, smashed her hip and her head, and
Ouch.
nobody realized that she'd fallen for 3 days. So by the time she got to hospital, she was in really rough shape. So I went to visit her, in Vernon, BC. It's just an hour away from where we live. And of course, her daughter-in-law knew what I was doing with Comfort Linen. She said, "Will you go see my mom? She's out of hospital now and she's really struggling." So I said, "Frida, will you show me how you get into bed right now?" Well, did it ever open my eyes? Here's
Wow.
Frida with a, it's healed, but still very tender.
Yep.
She would get to the very edge of her queen bed where she had a bed rail. And she says, "Well, this is all that I do. I lie here, and when I can't take lying on my back anymore, I pull myself to my side and hold the rail. But if I let go of the rail, I'm back on my back again."
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So and she didn't sleep very much, especially when she
No
was
kidding.
hanging on. Otherwise, she'd roll back. So I had taken her something, we put it on the bed. Different story. Over she goes. She's going, "I can't believe it. I just can't believe it, But that's what it will, that's
That
what
must
will
feel great.
happen.
That must feel so good when you see when someone uses your product and then you see that reaction. That like,
Yeah,
oh, like, right?
it does. Like I know I've had so many people, and I should mention that, when I started all of this in my retirement, it's not a put down or anything to the people with Parkinson's. It's not that I developed it for this community. I developed it for anyone who has struggles moving in, to, and on the bed or out. It could be someone with bad rheumatoid arthritis,
Yep.
fibromyalgia, someone who's had a stroke,
Wow.
ALS, all kinds.
Exactly.
But all kinds of people with various disabilities can benefit, and even those of us without a disability per se find it better to
Yeah.
improve sleep. So it turns out, though, that it's people with Parkinson's who have embraced us the most
Wow.
because it's such from my
Because we're so
understanding
smart.
now.
People with Parkinson's are smart, Nancy.
That's it.
I know that.
Those
I
other
know that.
diseases and those other people, they don't know. They're not as good.
They recognized a good thing when they saw it. So I will say 80% of our customer base
Wow.
is people with Parkinson's.
Wow.
Wow.
But those who've
Amazing.
had strokes, they write the most
Shh.
touching kind of, you know, letters
Yeah.
of feedback. Oh, it's the first time in 3 years I've been able to get far enough over that my weak
Oh
leg
my
doesn't
God.
fall off the side of the bed, or first time in 3 years since I could turn both ways without asking for help. And that's very meaningful. So, it comes
Yeah.
Wow.
back to me in the caring profession. Just because you retire, it just didn't stop for me.
That's
So
awesome. What
I
a great
try to
story.
combine retirement
I love it.
with providing this for people who really can
I
benefit.
absolutely love it. I need to
Nancy, you're
stop.
amazing. You're
I need to
amazing.
stop. I need to stop us. I need to stop us. So I'm
Okay.
having a moment. Okay. So everything you're describing, okay, the tossing, the turning, the effort, the wake ups, like this is basically the entire business model of the 3 a.m. club. I mean, that's what it's built on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very well established.
Strong, it's very strong. And it just hit me. You might be the first person, and I kind of joked about it at the beginning, but I'm actually thinking this now. You might be the first person ever we've ever talked to who could actually break people out of it. They really could.
Yeah.
And
I was just
it,
gonna say it's like a jailbreak, but with sheets and pajamas,
exactly.
right?
You're basically like the 3 a.m. club jailbreaker. So here
Yeah.
is a totally random thought, and I don't want to put you on
Okay.
the spot, Nancy, but I put Brian on the spot. I don't care. Brian goes on the spot, and he doesn't. He just has to go with it. But I don't put you on the spot. But instead of us just talking about this, what if we actually watched it play out in real life? And I guess Nancy, would you be open to would you be open to us doing like a real, honest, like a sleep challenge, like no hype, no promises, um, just observation, like a sleep challenge with Brian?
I would absolutely love to do something like that because I know I would learn even more.
Mhm.
Oh, I
What
love
I'm
it.
able to, what I glean since I developed Comfort Linen comes from my customers. And it's only those customers who decide they should give me some feedback or write a review or something.
I love
So it's
that.
not like the old days when I was a practicing therapist where I could have a patient at the bedside, show me how you get in, show me how you
Right.
turn, show me how we do all these things. What's your level of pain? And implement something, reassess. Now it's, I've just created this product and people who buy it, I know that, 99% of them are going to love it, but I don't really get to see difference that it's making from before Comfort Linen to now and this many weeks after Comfort Linen. I
Okay.
had a few customers who we've followed up with months after they've had their product.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, they say, I've gone from like 3 hours of sleep on average. Took a little while. I was getting up to 4 or 5 hours.
Holy
Now I'm
mackerel.
at 6 hours.
Wow,
And
it's double.
I don't think I've plateaued yet.
Brian won't
so
Brian won't know what to do, Nancy. Like, this is amazing. Like Brian's in let me ask you this too. Like, so for Care Partners, so okay, so let me stop, Nancy. I said I'd throw, but now I'm gonna throw somebody else there. So Brian,
Yep.
what if we took you and Lori?
Okay.
Now I'm throwing a carrot behind it. I'm just throwing this in. You and Lori, and we'll do the sleep challenge, and we'll just kind of we'll do for some weeks here. We'll come back and we'll follow the journey, right, with Nancy.
Okay.
Give it
Yeah.
tips along the way. How committed are you to the 3M Club membership, Brian?
I'm a lifetime member, but I'm open to parole.
Okay, because you and Lori would be like guinea pigs.
If you could reduce or get rid of my friction addiction, I'm all in.
Friction addiction. So Nancy, watch this one. He zings them out here. So with friction addiction, I love it. Well, how about we do this we could do it like every week.
Yep.
Like we would check in. Okay, you and Lori, you and Lori tell us how your nights went, how it's going,
Okay.
what you're doing, right? And Nancy can actually, because she's so good at this, could actually explain what's happening and give some practical tips that people could try themselves. What do you think?
I think Lori and I could be the dream team.
Oh
I'd
my
love
God!
I
You know what?
absolutely love it.
Oh, I think this would be amazing. I think that we could actually do that. Okay.
We're
And
in.
I'm so glad that you both are so genuine. And
I'll speak for Lori.
I'm gonna, probably Lori's gonna, I'm getting a text right away, like, really, Bryce? Because you hit him. Because remember, she was always saying, like, don't ask Brian. Like, Brian will agree to anything on at certain points. So it's like, but I knew if we take that. But I think this is beautiful. And what does that speak to Nancy, Brian? Like she's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, there's no hesitation. It's not like she's like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if Brian has a crappy sleep? Like, it's like she just like, I'm in.
I'm pretty confident about my
Yeah,
product. I know
exactly.
it works. Yeah.
She's got the
Oh,
sheet
my
smarts.
Sheet smarts. Yeah.
See,
Holy
he
sheet.
just pulls it right out. He just pulls. I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be really, really good. And then we'll all kind of vicariously, be able to come along. Brian, we get to, maybe we come in, jump in, like, beside the bed, and I'll ask you questions while you're trying to sleep. Like, we can. I'm just absolutely teasing on that one, but I think it would be so cool. Let's just do that.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. Well, we'll put that together. And you know what? You can, everybody, if that sounds like a good thing, let us know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, because you come along with this journey as we go. But the biggest thing, what I want people to really, really get here is, like, we're talking about a wellness product that, I mean, we talked the beach band. We talked about the wellness product with the beach band, Brian.
Right.
We're hearing, really great things that people are it's feeling great about. And so,
Yeah.
It's another tool in our toolbox that, that a lot of people maybe don't know about. And when we find those tools, not only do we want to, like, share them with everybody to say, hey, this is working for me, or this is, what it is. But now, Brian, now we have to actually watch it in real time.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
I love it.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Let us put this together, and we'll put it together. But I think, though, Brian, this is a good place to take a little bit of a just shift gears just a little bit,
Okay.
because we're talking about sleep and movement in real life, and it's time for something that Brian takes very seriously, and I think it's time for Brian's expertly curated shaky news.
Gather round, folks, it's time to choose your favorite segment, the Shaking News. I'm Brian Campkin, the genius here, the smartest man this side of next year. I'm the expert, the shaker, the news segment maker. I'm the resident brain of this whole operation. If Bryce needs help, he comes to me. I give him brilliance, absolutely free. I've got degrees you've never seen from made-up schools and magazines, a PhD in knowing things, a master's in whatever life brings. respect the crown, the smartest shaker in the town. I'm wise, I'm bold, I never lose. Welcome to Brian's Shaking News.
Now, here's an update on sleepless and Parkinson's. New research linking nighttime mobility issues to decrease progression. Recent studies are showing that difficulty turning in bed and nighttime stiffness are not just comfort issues. They may be early markers of motor progression in Parkinson's. Researchers are paying more attention to sleep movement as a clinical indicator, not just a quality of life complaint. So why does this matter? Point number one, it validates what people have been saying for years. Nights are harder than days. Growing recognition of off time during sleep. More neurologists are now openly discussing nocturnal off periods when medication wears off overnight. And this is leading to rigidity, pain, inability to roll over, and fragmented sleep. This is becoming a bigger topic at conferences and in movement disorder clinics. Why does this matter? Point number two. It's pushing doctors to look beyond daytime symptom control. There's also increased focus on non-drug sleep interventions. There's a noticeable shift towards non-pharmacological sleep solutions, including bedding adaptations, reducing friction surfaces, and sleep positioning aids. This doesn't replace medication, but it's being recognized as a legitimate part of Parkinson's care, not just nice extras. Why does this matter? Point number three. It opens the door for products like Comfort Linen to be part of the conversation, not an afterthought. There's more discussion around caregiver sleep disruption. Recent Parkinson's surveys and caregiver studies are highlighting that sleep problems affect both partners, not just the person with Parkinson's. Turning, repositioning, and nighttime assistance are being identified as major contributors to caregiver burnout. Why does this matter? Point number four. Sleep solutions aren't just about comfort, they're about sustainability for couples. The sleep conversation is finally moving beyond insomnia. The Parkinson's world is starting to talk less about insomnia and more about mechanical sleep problems, movement-related sleep disruption, and physical barriers to rest. This is a subtle but important shift in how sleep is being understood. Why does this matter? Point number five. It reframes sleep issues as physical symptoms, not anxiety or poor habits. So in closing, if nighttime has felt harder than it should, if rolling over feels like a project and sleep feels more physical than restful, there's a reason. And more importantly, there's finally recognition. This isn't about willpower or sleep habits or trying harder. It's about bodies that move differently after dark. And the fact that researchers, clinicians, and caregivers are starting to talk about this means we're not alone and we're not imagining it. Progress in Parkinson's care doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like fewer wake-ups, less friction, and a little more rest for everyone in the bed. And honestly, that's the kind of progress that still counts. That's all for the news. Bryce, back to you.
Awesome, Brian. Thank you very much. Very, very much. Now, Nancy, we play a little game here, and it's called Shaky or Fakey. And are you good to play it with us?
Absolutely.
Play? Okay, so
Get ready for the only game show where the stakes are low, but the side eyes are high. It's time for Shaky or Fakey, the game where one fact is true, one is totally made up, and Bryce and Brian pretend they studied. Will they nail the neuroscience or flunk the funk? Play along in the comments and see if you can beat the bros. Let the Shaky showdown begin.
all right, well, this obviously, Nancy, we knew Nancy was coming on. So I've kind of shaped these a little bit up in the wheelhouse. So I'm hoping, and I'll be honest with you, Nancy, I'm nervous. I'm nervous that you're going to answer something. You're going to be like, this is it. This is how it works. And I'd be like, and I'm going to like, no, I had a fakie. So I'm hoping I got these right. So, feel free to just pretend that it is and go along with me and we'll just, we'll be good. Anyway, just teasing. Okay. If you guys are ready, we're going to play Shaky Fakey. And here's our first question. All right. Okay. A long-term study shows that people consistently underestimate how often they wake up at night, sometimes by more than 50%. A long-term study shows that people consistently underestimate how often they wake up at night, and sometimes by more than 50%. So, Nancy, this is how it's going to work. You have the option to answer first, shaky, true, or fakey, false, or you can let Brian answer first. It's completely up to you on every question. You get the first go at this. So, what do you think? Is it shaky, fakey, or would you like Brian to go first?
I would say shaky.
You're going to go shaky on that one? Okay. And so this is how Brian rolls. So, like, Brian just knows he knows you're the expert too. So, trust me, it'll just, right? So, Brian?
There's an S on there somewhere. It's shaky.
And so I make him write it down,
Yay.
Nancy, just so we know. And everybody else everybody should have cue cards. We could all like hold up like S's and F's and stuff because I can't follow the comments. They're so fast. Oh, here they come. Shaky, 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 shaky. That answer is absolutely shaky. So, and I wrote beside it, said your sleep tracker is not gaslighting you. Your brain is, right? So it's like, sometimes I laugh at my own jokes, and I don't know why. It's crazy. Okay, so 1 for 1, both 1 for 1, and I think most people are 1 for 1 in the comments. And so, Nancy, the other thing I'll let you know is question number 1 is the gimme. That's just like I throw it out there so everybody feels comfortable and everybody wins. That's how I play this game. But here's question number 2. Researchers at the University of Zurich concluded that memory foam mattresses reduce nighttime awakenings because they limit subconscious movement. And everybody went like, wow, Bryce did some research on this episode. So researchers, I'll do it one more time, shaky or fakey. Researchers from the University of Zurich concluded that memory foam mattresses reduce nighttime awakenings because they limit subconscious movement.
I'm going to go with fakey.
You're going fakey on that one? All right. Fakey, and there's some fakies. I see fakies in the comments. Fakey, 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 fakey. Fake Craig and they're in for fakey. All right, Big Brian. So we got someone changed to fakey. All right, Cynthia's like, okay, you know what? I was thinking at first, but now I'm going that way.
I've got fakey.
You got fakey, hey?
Yeah.
So what was it? Was it the University of Zurich? Like what was the tip off on that one? Because that sounds so good.
Did you spell Zurich with an S?
No, a Z.
Okay.
No, on that one, when I think of memory foam mattresses,
Yeah.
The advertising for them was you don't have to move on memory foam because the pressure is so evenly distributed. You can lie in one position all night. When I started looking at different mattresses, because it was a common question that would be posed to me. So, I'd go out and educate myself a bit more, but my gut instinct was always with memory foam because you sink into it.
Yep.
Yeah. I cannot get out of that stuff. How do you get out?
Is in even greater surface area contact than on a firm mattress. And you've got no real solid base of support to do that hoisting with. So I think while it might deter nighttime movement, the body still wants to move. So that's why I chose fakey. But it's a good question. You did well on that
Well,
one.
thank you. I don't use memory foam because I'd be too scared to look at what that impression was after I got out. Like, I'd be like, oh my God. Like, you're like, you're like, oh, is that really like anyway. All right. So 2 for 2, 2 for 2. You're 2 for 2, Nancy. Good job. And Brian's hanging in there. So here is question number 3. Because question number 3, Brian calls this is where the metal meets the road, or the pedal meets whatever they call that. The metal. What hits the road?
Rubber meets the road.
Rubber
Meets the road.
Rubber meets the road. Okay, here we go. On average, adults change sleep positions between 15 to 30 times per night, even if they swear they don't move. On average, adults change sleep positions between 15 to 30 times per night, even if they swear they don't move. Ooh, guys, come on. Like, who?
Do you want me to go for it?
If you're ready.
It's your choice. Yep.
I'll go shaky on that one.
Yeah, shaky. I echo your comment. Yep.
All right, I'm going to give Cynthia a chance to switch to shaky too, because I saw fakey come up and she's shaky. Oh man. Okay, you guys are too smart for me. Yes, it was absolutely shaky, right? Yeah. And I know my little side note on that was, you're not a statue, you're a rotisserie chicken. So 30 times a night. 30 times. Can you believe that?
What was that, Cynthia?
I said I was wishful thinking because I always wake up in the same position that I go to sleep in.
Ah,
It's not a bad thing.
Carmen sleeps like she's on, so I'll be nice. But Carmen sleeps like she's in a coffin, like she just
Nice. Hey,
it's wild. It's just and like she falls asleep like just like this, and she wakes up.
Do you
just like
call her
this.
Morticia?
Ah, that's a good one. I like that one. I should do that. I never thought about that.
May
Oh
I
my
just
God.
make a quick comment back to Cynthia about waking up in the same position that you fell asleep in?
Mm-hmm.
So I've had several customers write back to me and say, this has never happened to me before. I'm waking up in a different position. So I know I'm moving through the night on your sheets and I'm doing it in my sleep.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So it might change for you if you should try this at some point.
I like you listen. I like the way you listen to all your customers. That thing
Yeah.
always talks. I love
Oh.
the way that's
I learned so much.
you're building your own community. It's amazing. Okay. Now I've been super nice. So 3 for 3. Everybody's 3 for 3. I'm going to say
Except
everybody's 3 for 3.
Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia had a mulligan take back on one, but we'll go. Okay, so we'll throw this one there. Okay, question number 4. Okay, a Swiss neuroscience team found that sleeping in complete silence can worsen sleep quality for some people compared to steady background noise. A Swiss neuroscience team found that sleeping in complete silence can worsen sleep quality for some people compared to steady background noise. Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't that one?
Not my area of expertise, but I'm going to go with
That's why I'm thinking I got to
shaky.
twist you up a little bit. You're going to shake on that one. I was like, I'm going to give her something she's not the expert at. Shaky,
So,
shaky,
so
shaky.
they sell a lot of white noise monitors, and they use them for kids. They use them for adults. They use them for preteen, post-teen. I'm going shaky.
Now, interestingly,
Yeah.
about a week ago, I heard a little news blip. And I wasn't really watching the TV, it was just on. So I don't know if I missed some of the rest of the story, but it was talking about these white noise machines and
Yeah.
others where, the instinct or the experience was this can help people with their quality of sleep. Then they were taking that back. So depending on how recent your search
Yeah.
for the question, Bryce, up until about a week ago, I would say shaky. But based on the new information, it could be somewhere towards fakey.
Ooh. Did we have a switch up there? Was that a switch
Sitting
up?
on the fence. I'll
Is that a
stick with
switch up?
shaky though.
Or is
I'll
that
stick
okay?
with shaky.
You're just hedging your bet. Okay. It was shaky. It was shaky. I was yeah. I was hoping it was fakey because Carmen needs noise and I need quiet. Or I think I do. I want pitch dark and pitch quiet. She wants light and noise. And I'm like, how do you fall asleep in this place? But I guess you adapt to it. So but yeah, that was shaky. But I don't know. I kind of tend to think that I guess they don't sell any noise reduction sleep aids, do they?
No.
Earplugs.
Earplugs, yeah.
That's true. Okay. Well, I'm going to shake it up. This is question 5. So we're all 4 for 4, except for Cynthia. But
Cynthia.
the question. So we got to make sure we got to really get. Okay, I'm going to pull one out. Because we really want to nail this one down, and then I want to make sure that we leave enough time for some Q&A with the inner circle. So here we go. Question number 5. We're going to use this as like the bonus tiebreaker. This is number 5. This one take all the money. This is for everything we got. Is a shaky or fakey. Researchers found that sleeping with freshly washed sheets improves sleep efficiency because of the subconscious scent recognition.
Oh, I've had this before.
Researchers found that sleeping with freshly washed sheets improves sleep efficiency because of subconscious scent recognition. Craig, they're going fakey. Craig's going fakey. Let's see what everybody's doing here. Fakey. Interesting.
I'm going to go with shaky.
You're going shaky? Okay.
I'm going to make it so it can't be a tie. I'm going to go fakey. And here's why. I when you read that question, it's like it's been read to me before. And the last time I answered it, I answered shaky and I was wrong. That's a thought that came into my head.
Have we had this on before? Did I use this question before?
I know, I don't know if I know this question. I know about this subject.
That's very unfair to Nancy if we've used this twice.
I might have
Now
read
you
an
got-
article. I don't know if it was a question or. See, I do a lot of research now because I'm doing the news, right?
Well, I just heard the producer just said to me, yes, we've used it before. And he's telling me in my ear here, our executive producer, is that we're going to answer the question, but we're going to have another tiebreaker because Brian had
I'm fair
unfair
with
advantage.
that. No, I'm fair with
Exactly.
that. That's why I called it out.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so that answer was fakey. It was fakey. It feels true. It smells true.
100%.
But it's not
That's
true.
why I said shaky the last time.
And I must have liked it so much I used it twice, Nancy, because I was like,
Right.
I got him on that. So, but look at that memory recall.
Yeah.
Look at that memory recall. Hey, you're like a foam mattress, Brian. Okay, so this is question. This will be number 5. We're gonna just a reset to everybody. So you get a freebie on this one. So that means that we have to give Cynthia a freebie on one of hers as well. But I am going to give you one more question, and this is it. No, I used that one already. Okay, you ready? I think this is a really good question.
All right.
A German sleep institute found that sleeping on your left side increases the REM sleep because it improves blood flow to the brain. So, a German sleep institute found that sleeping on your left side increases REM sleep because it improves blood flow to the brain. Shaky. So just so you guys know in the comments, so everybody's like, I sometimes help Brian on this one. I had a couple fakies, now we're getting a couple shakies, and it's kind of a split here. Fakey, it's almost going in unison. Shaky, fakey, shaky, fakey, shaky,
I'm
fakey.
going to go with fakey.
You're going to go with fakey on that one. Okay, You're going fakey on that one, and Mr. Brian. Brian, do you sleep on your left side or your right side?
Right.
You sleep on your right side. So.
See, if I slept on my right side and it's going to increase my blood flow, then my heart would be not against the mattress. It would be free. If I'm on my left side, I'm putting pressure on my heart. That would reduce the ability for blood flow. So I've said fakey.
Okay, give me that reasoning one more time.
Blood flow.
Yeah, but because if you're on your left side.
So if I'm sleeping on my left side, that's the side my heart's on.
Oh, it should decrease. You're saying it should decrease the REM sleep.
Decrease because I'm putting pressure on that system.
I see. So you're saying fakey.
Correct.
And Nancy, you went fakey on that one too, right? Okay. So, yeah, that was fakey. Darn it. I thought I'd get Brian. I should have said the other side. I should have said the right side. There's no such study. I completely made it up. So you said the wrong side. I said the wrong side.
For us, Brian.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? We're going to give you one more. This is it. This is the bonus
just
question.
For the record, I'm 17 for 17.
Okay, we'll get ready for number. Wait for 18, Brian, because 18's been calling your name all day long. This is the last one. I promise you, this last one. But here, okay, Nancy, ready for this? A 2018 sleep lab study out of Switzerland. Boy, Switzerland, did they sleep a lot out there? Anyway, out of Switzerland, found that people who believed they slept poorly actually performed better on memory tests the next day than people who believed they slept well. Whoa, there's a lot. Let me say it again, because that's a lot. I said a lot. A 2018 sleep lab study out of Switzerland found that people who believed they slept poorly actually performed better on memory tests the next day than people who believed they slept well.
That's a toughie, but I'm going to go with fakey.
Fakey on that one? Okay, we've got some shakies and some fakies in there, Brian. This is it, Brian. Question 18. All the marbles. What did you do?
I went fakey.
Nancy, you and I are going to have a one-on-one. You're going to have to give me some really tougher questions. Absolutely, that was completely false. That was completely false. You know, I thought it sounded so real, though, didn't it?
It was pretty good. Very good questions.
It did.
Bit of a toss-up, but
well, you guys are too smart for me.
I think
too smart for me.
I think when someone feels like they've had a good sleep, they're just going to have a better day. That's
exactly
it's as simple as that.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, there it is. That's shaky fakey, and we're going to leave it as a tie. Everybody else, because I mean that's only natural. But maybe, just maybe, we're going to do the sleep challenge, Brian.
I'm all in. Absolutely.
Well, I know. I'm so excited.
excited.
I can't wait till Lori hears it. Like Lori's probably right now cursing.
Oh, you're
somewhere.
telling Lori. I'm not.
I know. I'm telling her right now. She's like, you just show her the video after, and Lori's like, "What did you sign me up for?" So, but let's do that. So we're going to do the sleep challenge. I'm excited about it. So we can actually bring Nancy in, and I'm going to come up with some better questions, and maybe we'll kind of zip a couple in there, in as we do that. But. This is it. We're gonna wrap up the public portion of today's episode. And if you want to follow Brian and Lori's sleep journey, and see what's helping and what's not helping, then pick up practical tips along the way. Make sure you subscribe to Following Life in Motion. And if you're watching this thinking, I wish that I could be in the room for these conversations, that's exactly what the Inner Circle's for. Inner Circle members get access to these live recordings, like behind the scenes moments, I think, private Q&A, and they see Brian mess up all the technology, which he's been better at. So I'm going to change that joke around. And with all the links are in the description below. Before we go, Nancy, if people want to learn more about your work and Comfort Linen, where can they find you at, Nancy?
Well, they can find me on my website. If anyone's on LinkedIn, I have a pretty decent profile on there that tells a little bit more of my story than what I shared today. I welcome emails, Nancy@comfortlinen.com. And we have a Facebook page as well, but I admit to being a little overwhelmed with Facebook, and so I've taken a break for a while, but you can certainly reach me through there or through Messenger as well.
Amazing.
So, yeah,
but if we want to buy, if someone's like, hey, I need to buy this, they go to comfortlinen.
Comfortlinen.com.
And we'll have it there on the screen. And we have all the links in the description as well. So we make sure that they're all there. And but amazing. I think that this has started something really meaningful, Brian. I think this is going to be good. I know Dawn will be happy if we try to jailbreak the 3 a.m. club, because Dawn is a resident member in there. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you for showing up. And Nancy, thank you so much for being here. You're a beautiful person, and I count you as a friend. And I'm a fan, so that's why I just want to share that with everybody out there. So thank you as well.
Thank you both as well. I admire your work so much. Thank you.
All right. And so Inner Circle, you stay, hold on, just don't go anywhere. But everybody else, we'll see you next time. And remember, whatever you're doing, make sure you always keep showing up, keep being real, and you keep your life in motion. And Brian, I'll see you next week.
Sounds great, bud.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
You've been listening to Life in Motion with Bryce and Brian. Today's episode was sponsored by Comfort Linen, helping you move more easily and sleep more comfortably. Get 20% off your order now at comfortlinen.com. Use promo code DLT20. Details are in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, give us 5 stars and leave a review. It helps the show grow. And let's be honest, Bryce loves reading them. Thanks for being part of the movement. We'll catch you next time.